We were supposed to start at 6 p.m., but due to some technical reasons, we couldn't start earlier. But notwithstanding, we were able to have our amazing, speakers who are very experienced in their various fields to actually tell us what they know about the topic. So the MC for the event is going to be Jezel Cole. And just before I hand it over to him, I would like to give shout out to our sponsor. You can see them there, SMD Policy Management Institute. They have been engaged in a lot of trainings across the region, in Niger, Senegal, and they have a regional office there. And in extension as well to the Disruptive Lab. And we chose to bring it here because of their assistance to the ecosystem in the Gambia. And we are excited to have it here as well. We had a lot of options to do our events. We normally switch it, but this was relevant for us to have it here because this is where we are as well. So we are pretty much impressed with the support that they've given us. So you can give them a round of applause, and also our speakers as well for this occasion. Just a quick one before I go. Before we had the event today, there has been a lot of exposure as well internationally. It tells a lot about the importance of the topic itself and the relevance that it can give for startups like yourself. So I will hand it over to Jezel, the master of ceremony, to actually do a quick intro before we get into the fireside chat. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you all to the first edition of the Startup Grand Fireside Chat. This is our first edition for 2020, and we're excited, and we are also happy that you guys are here with us this evening. So if you don't mind, you would like to give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So as a tradition, before we begin the fireside chat, it's important that we introduce the speakers. That way the audience will know who we have on the panel. And as you see, we have a very beautiful lady in the middle of the two gentlemen. So the first speaker is Hadi Jalal Kulbali. My bad, sorry about that. She's the Vice President of Credit Now Corporation. She's also the founder and CEO of Elevate Foundation. Hadi worked in the financial service and fintech industry for over 15 years and has extensive knowledge in accounts receivable, credit risk management, credit and financial analysis, operations management, financial systems, implementation, and administration. Hadi joined Now Corporation shortly after its founding and was instrumental in building the company's flagship product, Now Account, an innovative payment system that enables businesses to get paid immediately without loans, liabilities, or factoring. As Vice President of Credit Now, Hadi oversees the operations and risk engines behind the product, leading a talented team of professionals who have processed over 500 million in transactions. Wow. As founder and CEO of Elevate Foundation, INC, which is a non-profit that provides educational, health, and financial resources to children and related benefits to mothers in underdeserved communities in the US and abroad. Elevate's mission is to ensure that every child in these communities flourish in a safe environment with adequate and affordable access to quality education and health services. She currently serves as the first elected female chairperson of Atlanta Gambia Emergency Relief Association. As the leading Gambian community organization in the diaspora, AGRA is a non-profit organization that is responsive to emergency, social, cultural, educational, and economic challenges of the community and beyond. Hadi received the BA in French language and international business with a minor in finance from Georgia State University and an MBA with a concentration in finance from University of Phoenix. Can we give a round of applause to Hadi Jalal Kulbali? She's our first speaker. And I did the first because they say ladies go first. So I hope Mr. John will find it all right, good. But nevertheless, you're the second speaker. So the second speaker is Adraman Jan. He's the MD of Gambia Angel Investors Network, a Senator World Business Angel Forum, founder and managing partner of Vertus Capital, a West African VC firm, and providing financial training across Africa. He's an entrepreneur and an accomplished Africa-focused investment executive with a proven track record of successful investment activities in Africa for over 15 years. In 2016, he co-founded Banjul Finance, if that's correct, a French company connecting investors with African companies seeking for funds. As founding partner and COO, he exists in 28 after extending the company's operation base into 15 African countries in 2 years. Wow. Previously, Abdurrahman held senior investment positions in private equity firms in Europe at INP Investor and Partners, a Pan-African French impact investment firm, and in fund management, a 350 million euro infrastructure investment fund. From 2005 to 2012, Abdurrahman held successive managerial positions in a top-tier investment bank in Paris. Abdurrahman received an executive MBA from HEC Paris, a master's degree in financial risk management, and a postgraduate degree in mathematics. Can we give a round of applause to Mr. Abdurrahman? Normally, I would like to introduce my director, but this time around, nah. I just let him fly. One more time, I'll just say, Mr. Diab, we just go straight into the fireside chat, since we've already wasted so many time, like Modo said, due to technical issues. So,
thank you so much, Jezel. That was really impressive. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of a lot of people here. I'm not sure if I can go by their names, but it's really amazing to have all of you guys here to witness this amazing event. And I'm pretty much excited actually, because the topic is really important. We've been doing a lot of talks on access to capital, but it was important to have people that really know about the topic, and how can we help entrepreneurs like yourself that are here to understand the mechanisms that are involved in the processes of giving access to capital for entrepreneurs. And when you look at around the sub-region, you would see other ecosystem players doing pretty much well, and Gambia shouldn't be left behind. It's important that we have this conversation, where we will be able to look back and know that this is where we've gone far, and this is what we can do also for the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the Gambia. So a quick one, Hadi and Abdurrahman, as a norm as well for Fireside Chat, I would like to have a quick question on your journeys, because Jezel has actually gone through about your bias, but it's important to know from you guys what has been like for you guys until now.
How's everyone doing? Yeah? No? You guys don't want to be here? Come on. Well, yes, my bio was read, but that actually is just, I guess you could call it on paper. The journey itself, as most of us know, we leave Gambia and we go to the US. I actually was born there, and then I was brought back by my parents, and my dad is back there actually, sitting in the back. So coming back was a great thing. I think we should all start there knowing that the journey starts from home, because that's why I'm back. If I wasn't here to learn, know where I was from, I don't think I would ever remember to come back and kind of try to be a part of the ecosystem. So as I left and went back, I guess the Gambian journey itself started last year, mainly when I came back and started having conversations with different organizations, different small business groups, and different people related to finance, and then realized that there's really a gap. The small business, which I work in small business world in the US, and when we say small business, is actually large compared to the ones that are here. Adrama is probably in a larger field than I am, so I've actually worked at the lower grassroots level. And don't be surprised when you hear that the small businesses there actually have almost the same challenges that people have here. It's just at a different scale, because structures are in place, they just don't have the know-how and the readiness to get the loans, or the lending, or the capital that they would need. Here we found that it was much more different. There's a lot to do at the grassroots level. There's a lot of educating to do. And as I talk to more people about it, it seems like they're not knowing is a challenge here. And it piqued my interest. So to me, to not leave the small businesses hanging is why I started my journey to figure out how can we help the small businesses, the ones that are starting up, the ones that want to start up, to be able to get to the point where people like Adrama here can look at you and say, okay, I like your portfolio, I like your product, I like your business, let me work with you. And hopefully, you know, we'll continue that journey and then get him the clients that he needs. But that's kind of where mine started in the finance sense.
Amazing. So, Adraman, you can tell us your bio was like something else.
I don't think. Well,
I'm pretty much interested in the million part though, because entrepreneurs are here. So probably we just want to know how were you able to do that in the first place? That's pretty much amazing.
well, like Hadi said, everything started at home. I started in Senegal. I did almost all my studies in Saint Louis, Gaston Berger. So that's where I have my post degree in mathematics. And then I left. Finished my education in France and started working in a bank for a few years, and then I just say, well, there is something missing, and then why not to come back and do something here? And then I started working in Africa from there. So I was living there, but half of my time I was somewhere in the continent, trying to either invest or train or do something in this continent. And you realize that I work in infrastructure fund. But at the end, of course we need infrastructure, but we really need small businesses to create jobs and to bring some innovations in our country. So that's why I start shifting in these smaller businesses to invest in. Actually, the Gambia angel investors want to invest big tickets. So we are in the same field. And then 1 year ago, let's say March last year, we start setting up this, it's a non-profit organization to invest in Gambian small businesses. It's a non-profit, and the investors are not the structure itself, they are people, Gambians, and some from the diaspora. The tickets goes from, let's say, 15,000 US dollars to more, we'll see, I don't know.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I will come back to you later on that, on the angel investor network question in the Gambia. But when you talk about access to capital, one of the things that pops up is, do I really need it? You know, so this is a question that we've been really asking. You know, a lot of the entrepreneurs in the Gambia, you know, those that I interact with, they want to have access to capital, but they probably don't really know much about it, or probably they don't even know the mechanisms to get it. So Hadi, from your experience dealing with this, can you elaborate more on, you know, what access to capital means to you? And, you know, for startups that are actually watching right now, how do they understand the mechanisms of accessing capital? This is really important for this.
I think it's twofold. You can talk about getting the capital and actually accessing the capital. And if we want to talk about the access piece of things, it's lacking in a lot of places. But here is the knowledge is what I was talking about earlier, is that to know how to access capital is to know what you need. It's what your business is. What size of business are you trying to have? What type of business are you in? What type of money do you need? How long do you want to have the loan? How much money do you have to spend? All of that has to come in. And a lot of the small businesses are not educated at that. Like, you know, I like to say, get the right capital at the right time for the right need. But in order to do that, you have to know how to access that capital. But then when you get to have that access, by the time, you would have different options. You would have the banks giving you loans. You would have Adraman, the angel investors. You would have the equity investors. You have all these types of products that are out there that you have access to. That's access to capital. What we're trying to create in the different products that we have is giving you those options, giving the small businesses those options. But those options could bite you if you don't know why you need the money. You can't just say, I have a product. All of us have a passion for our businesses. That's where it starts. You see something, you make food, you make wonja or ginger or something, and you can bottle it and you can sell it, people love it. That's a passion that you have. You can do it at a small scale. But how do you grow that? That's where the planning comes in. And then if you figure out how much you want to do, how well you want to do it, what is your product, what is the quality of it, all of that stuff, then you would know what type of money you need. then you can access the right loan or capital, non-traditional loan, which means you don't go to a bank. You come to a small investment company or an angel investor or a micro lender that's out here somewhere to give you the money that you need. And all of that is tied to timing, speed, and your product and how you make money. You have to figure out when your sale is gonna happen too, because you cannot get a loan and then they tell you you're gonna pay this in 3 months, but you have a poultry farm that would not happen in 6 months. So what are you gonna do? Your business may fail before you can even pay the loan. And that's another reason why some of the lenders here don't wanna lend, because you don't have a plan, first of all, and then if that fails, what do they fall back on? You don't have collateral. That's another problem that small businesses have. I think part of my conversations, I found that not knowing is one. Not knowing what it means to even research capital besides the banks is another. But just in general, you have to be prepared because you don't want to fold before you actually start. That's just it. Collateralization is one of my biggest problems when I started. I remember talking to you about it and figuring out how can you collateralize. And I realized it affects women the most in the Gambia. And that's because most of it, now it's getting different, but most of the collateral, land, property is owned by men. And the women don't have it. But the women are the one now that are coming up to create businesses. So then they can't get money. They can't access capital because no one wants to give it to them. Because if they can't pay it back, what does the bank have? Nothing. So you can't have women small business owners if you don't have a platform that is willing to help them. And part of what we're going to do is try to educate them, to prepare them for a more structured financing, but it has to take work. And those people have to be willing to listen to those that are teaching them, like myself or Adraman or anybody else that's doing it. I know Woman Boss does similar to teach the women entrepreneurs. So all of those resources are there to help you figure out how to access capital and grow your business. And hopefully I'll be able to help with that too.
Amazing. I'll come back to you on that deeply. But Adraman, just a quick one, because I mean, when you talk about the word angel investors, for me it's pretty much clear. I know there is a network of investors, but from somebody out there, when you talk about angel investment, it's something big for them. So, I mean, with the ecosystem that we have, we all know it's a bit nascent. All the reports are saying that, but you guys came and set it up in Gambia, knowing pretty much the landscape of Gambia. So tell us a bit about what the angel investor mean for their interest in Gambia and how can they work. We will go through the process, of course, later, but what is it exactly to your own definition of their mandate here in Gambia?
Well, when I just came in, I walked around, met with a lot of people. They all told me, oh, I'm already doing this. So they are giving money to people, their siblings, for example, their cousins, etc. But guess what? I lost my money. That's what they said to me. So we tried to convince them on how we wanted to set it up. Of course, it's about giving money to someone and getting back something in return. And this can take different forms. I mean, money first, but that's why they invest. But also, some people said we are doing it, we are giving back because this country gave us something. So it's a way to give back. And also, you don't just give money because when you take these small businesses, actually what they really need is not money. They need someone that can support them. They need someone that can guide them, an advisor. Someone that can tell them, no, don't go there. If you go there, you fail, because I see it like 100 times. Just try this part. That's what they provide also. Expertise, also network. If you want to grow your business, you need to have, let's say, a network of people that can help you to find the right clients, to find partners in your country and maybe abroad. When I met with these Gambian businesses, I always tell them, your first market is not just Gambia, your first market is Senegambia. Why? Because the market in the Gambia is quite small, but I don't know, maybe because I'm Senegalese, but I really believe that, I really believe that we are the same country. Yeah. And then when you open, honestly, Senegalese businesses, they target from Gambia. Okay. Some of them want to come here. Why? It doesn't matter, because they are very close. So why not Gambians? okay, we have this language barrier, French and English, but we speak Wolof, right? So this is very important to know. They provide, these angel investors, they are in their field, provide money, network, and expertise.
Okay, perfect. But then before I go to Hadi, when you talk about it, you've already talked about the services that they provide. But then again, the process involved is also another thing. I mean, I was following your page online and I saw a group of people, and then with a small piece of entrepreneurs, and I wasn't aware of what's happening. So I was like, what's going on? But knowing that you already know that there's a process involved inside. So as an entrepreneur, knowing pretty much that there's a network here, how do I get involved now? I mean, what do I need to have? You know, these are things that they will be asking. So since we have this forum, it will be good to give them a bit about it. I mean, not just seeing it online, you know, angel investment, the big dots, the money there, $20,000 and whatnot. But what can I do as a startup to get access to this? And what are the processes? You will have due diligence, you will have legal implications and whatnot. So these are really important to really share.
Quickly, I think in few days we'll have our website where we'll explain all the process.
There's no website? I saw one. Oh,
well, I'm not sure. We should have it in few. Yeah, I mean, if you are lucky, you can see it because sometimes we are working on it.
I hacked it.
Yeah. The process is quite simple. When you come, we need few criteria. You need to have a business that is officially registered. This is just a fundamental. If you don't have it, we cannot even talk to you. Sorry to say it that way. But it's very important to register your business. And once your business is registered, well, our doors are open. It depends really on who you are, what you can achieve, what you already achieved in your past, even, I mean, in your business or even at a personal level. Sometimes they just arrive with maybe 6 months of existence, the business. But these guys, they were already entrepreneurs in the past, and then we consider them. But here we are looking for businesses that have, let's say, a bit of, let's say, milestones. They exist maybe for at least 1 year, because 1 year allows us to see what they did, to have at least 1 fiscal year. In some networks, they require for 2 years. It's quite important. And we would like to have, for example, a business that is ready, investment ready, meaning you have few documents that we could look at, a teaser, a description, a short description of your business, a business plan, not this long word business plan for like, no, a 30-page in PowerPoint to explain just how you want to make it, and some a financial model, an Excel file where you translate actually your idea into numbers. That's what we want, but unfortunately we are experiencing that most of the entrepreneurs don't have it. That's why we are starting to work a bit earlier, because what we wanted to do is what you are explaining, having businesses that have all that thing come, we help them to pitch in front of our investors, and then if there is interest, they say, I'm interested, and then we organize something we call a deep dive. A deep dive means we put them together for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then they discuss. They can ask angels, they can ask any kind of questions, even personal questions, because personal life can have impact in your business. And if the interest is confirmed, and then they issue a term sheet. A term sheet is a kind of agreement saying, if everything goes right, these are the terms of our investment. Money, time, anything, voting rights, etc. And then there is a due diligence after that. Why the term sheet is coming before the due diligence? Because due diligence usually implies cost. You pay people to check everything that the entrepreneur said. before you pay someone, before you start spending money, you have to make sure that if everything is okay, you agree that there will be an investment, an actual investment. And then after the due diligence, if everything is right, then we go for the final negotiation of the terms and then the closing. The closing is the actual investment.